Hi guys, in this video I'm going to walk you through how I use my Cork posture rolls to meditate in the morning. So some of you may know that when I wake up in the morning, I generally have my alarm set for 6 a.m. I have a coffee in bed and then I tend to wake up about 6:30, and the first thing that I do when I wake up is I use my Calm app to do the 10-minute-ish daily trip. So I've just got myself in the habit. It's a great way to set myself up for the day. And what I love about it is I habit stack. So I do posture at the same time that I do my daily Calm app. And of course, we don't want to be doing posture exercises that are too intense when we do our meditation. We wouldn't want to be doing air bench or something like that where you're really like shaking and working really hard. We want to find something passive so we can focus more on our thoughts rather than our body. But the Cork posture rolls are genuinely one of my favorite things to use. Ever since we got them, I've been using them every single day when I do my 10-minute meditation. So I've played around with different combinations, and I definitely recommend you do the same thing too. So what I'm going to show you today, I'm going to be using just one, actually, because I've realized that that's my favorite. I'm going to use one big roll, but it may be that you want to try this initially with one of the smaller rolls, or it may be that you want to try it with the two smaller rolls perhaps. I would definitely recommend not using both of the bigger rolls if this is your first time, but it's something to work towards. So through trial and error, and again, I implore you to also use trial and error when you're kind of playing around with how to do this yourself. But I'm just going to walk you through the position that I personally do quite a lot when I meditate. So I get my big Cork posture roll and I put it underneath my neck in a hook-lying position. So this for me is my favorite position with the Cork roll, and also, I'm just going to move my microphone slightly so that I don't mess it up. So this is my favorite meditation position, and just through trial and error, I've discovered that my favorite kind of combination of the rolls is just having this big one underneath my neck. But yeah, bear in mind, everybody's body is different, and your body might want something else. So I get my Calm app up, I put a roll underneath my neck, I have my palms facing up with my arms out at about 45 degrees to the side. Sometimes I take them a little bit higher, but I'm just kind of, I'm looking for the position where I can feel like a little bit of a stretch through the front of my chest and through the front of my elbows when I lay my arms out to the side. I have my knees bent and I have my feet flat to the floor, and I have my toes, ankles, knees and hips in alignment. I make sure that my knees aren't falling out, nor are they falling in. And when I first lay on the big roll especially, what I noticed was that my head didn't really very comfortably touch the floor behind me. So if that's happening to you, then definitely use one of the smaller rolls to start with and make it more manageable. But also, if you're not in pain, then I would say just to keep holding this position. So eventually, as your upper back, as your mid back, and as your neck and as your head start to release, and as gravity starts like bearing this influence down on your body, you'll just start noticing that your head can more easily touch the back of the floor like this. To start with, you might have your chin really, really tilted up towards the ceiling, and that's just a sign that your neck is hyperextending due to probably a lack of mid-back and upper back mobility. So just see if you can tuck the chin down, and it's going to put a bit more pressure through the back of your neck on the roll, but that is probably a good thing. So I don't want it to be that your chin is so lifted up off the floor that you don't really have any grounding on the roll. If we think about almost giving ourselves a bit of a double chin, it's going to feel a lot more intense on the back of your neck, but that's going to be where we start reshaping your neck and reshaping your upper back to let the rolls create their magic. So I lay here And I try and find a really uncomfortable position for the top of my spine. I deliberately roll the roll a bit further down my neck until I find that area where my dowager's hump is. It feels really, really like knobbly as I lay like this, but importantly, I'm not in pain. I can feel how my neck is being challenged, shall we say, and I'm also able to breathe normally here. So we don't want the sensations to be so intense that you can't breathe or you can't meditate or you can't focus on anything else. You're still maintaining that nasal diaphragmatic breath where we're breathing into our nose, expanding our relaxed belly, and then pushing the belly down and allowing the air to come out the nose. So we are not losing our breath and we're not causing ourselves pain, but we are keeping ourselves in a position where we've got the roll on a bit of our neck that feels knobbly, a bit uncomfortable, because that's where you're going to start reshaping things. And then as my neck starts to melt and as my body starts to kind of open up here and I get that chest opening and the neck is reshaping itself, I fidget quite a lot. So I always try and put the roll in a position a little bit further down, a slightly different angle. I might like rotate my neck slightly in one direction just to keep it kind of challenged. But I basically just keep shifting myself to make sure that as my body starts melting around the rolls, that I'm keeping the position challenged. So your body's going to melt into the rolls and it will start becoming easier in one position, and as soon as it feels a bit easy and like you're not feeling anything, then I would think about repositioning the rolls into a slightly different part of your neck. See if you can go a bit closer to your torso and just find a position for you where you can feel knobbliness. Basically a weird way of saying it, but hopefully that will start making sense when you do it. The palms are facing up. That's going to help open up your chest. And you may, if you're anything like me, I've had some clicks in my neck, so as my neck kind of pops into place, I get like a bit of a rattlesnake up my neck going on. My hands get circulation come back to them, so opening up the front of the chest here starts to release any impingement that might be going on through the brachial plexus, the front of the chest, and that may then help restore like warmth and blood supply down to your hands. And my favourite bit about this is as the neck starts kind of screwing itself into position and the rotation starts changing, it feeds down into my mid-back. I can literally feel the vertebrae through my upper back and through my mid-back starting to untwist. It gets rid of my scoliosis through my spine. The rib cage balances itself out. The shoulder blades feel a lot looser, and I start getting this like warm, buzzy sensation through my right hip. So my right hip is locked up, and my right rib cage is locked up, and my right shoulder is locked up, and my right like neck is locked up. And whilst doing hip exercises is helpful, whilst doing rib cage exercises is helpful, the thing for me personally that's been the biggest game changer has been reshaping this position of my upper neck. And I wonder now, like the more I do it, if it's to do with the fact that my eyes are straining at my computer screen. I'm using my phone more on my right side, so my head is being pulled to the right hand side a little bit more. I'm starting to think that actually one of the most dysfunctional areas of my body is this like upper right hand side. This resets that, and I get this unwinding effect through the rest of me. So just now I've been here and I can feel that my mid kind of back rib cage on that right hand side is settling down to the floor. My right shoulder blade is gliding a little bit more readily. But this is the general gist of it. You might want to try this with one roll. You might want to try it with, as I said, 2 rolls, perhaps the big roll underneath your neck and the small roll underneath your lower back. But this is just giving you an idea. But my biggest tip is to try and put the roll on a bit of an uncomfortable position for your neck. Not so uncomfortable that you're in pain, not so uncomfortable that you can't breathe and that you're holding your breath, but uncomfortable enough where it's like you know that your bones are kind of being changed. If you don't feel anything, you're not being challenged enough in this exercise. Oh, I could genuinely stay here all day. The way that it reshapes my upper back is absolutely amazing. Anyway, I'm having too much fun. I'm enjoying that far too much. I really, really hope you enjoy. I hope you think about combining it with meditation, but just that simple position is a really good one to do in front of the TV at nighttime. Listening to a podcast, listening to music, anything that floats your boat. But I have also taken to doing that whilst I watch TV, because hopefully by now, as you know, I don't sit on chairs in the evening, I don't sit on a sofa. I'd really try and stay out of chairs as much as I can, except for work time. And I get a little bit more of my spine going on in the evening. Oh, and before I forget, give that neck a bit of a feel. Does it feel different? You might notice that certain parts of your neck almost feel a bit more prominent. Don't be alarmed by that. It's just because you've got rid of rotation and kind of some kinks in other parts of your spine. The more you keep on at this, the more that neck is going to reshape itself, I promise. Let me know how you find it, and good luck.